I made a sequel to Disney's 101 Dalmatians in 2024, set in 2024. Why? Because I love 101 Dalmatians. I watched Disney's 2021 Cruella movie and I was kind of disappointed by it. And I think my idea is fresh, it's pretty fun, and it does what Disney does best. We're gonna have kids, we're gonna have songs, we're gonna have dogs. It's gonna have everything. Stick around, I think it's gonna be a pretty good video. I thought of the story, I thought up some new character designs. I really think that this is a fun idea, and if you like Disney or Cruella de Vil or anything in between those two things, stick around and you might like something you didn't think about. I love 101 Dalmatians. It's this fun, lighthearted, jazz-inspired cartoon. It's a love story. It has everything. Something for everyone. I really love that movie.
You know, the original. In Disney's 101 Dalmatians, Pongo and Perdita, owned by Roger and Anita, embark on a rescue mission to save their puppies from Cruella de Vil, who wants to use them for a fur coat. The story is set against the backdrop of London, highlighting the bond between pets and their owners, and a key subplot involves Roger, who creates the hit song Cruella de Vil, which becomes a humorous and catchy tune that encapsulates the villain's wicked nature, adding a unique musical element to the film's storytelling.
And I think Cruella 2021 kind of takes all the worst parts of 101 Dalmatians, but I just think that the movie did some weird things and made some weird choices.
Man, when I first saw the previews for this movie, I realized it was like this rendition trying to be like Devil Wears Prada, and it even had this weird fashion scene that was sort of like The Hunger Games, and it was clearly far removed from the feel and the spirit of the original Disney movie, which is fine in the grand scheme of things. It just left a bad taste in my mouth. There were parts where I actually started laughing. The most egregious of all the things in the Cruella movie was that the Dalmatians killed Cruella's adoptive mom. They were killer Dalmatians. They pushed her off the freaking edge of the cliff. And I just thought it was ridiculous. I literally started laughing so hard. I've been telling everyone about it. It's ridiculous. The movie doesn't make any sense, and it doesn't commit to itself. It has to change the time period to give you this half I'm a girl punk rock star breaking barriers, but also I'm a crazy psycho person story. And also, like I said, a bit of Devil Wears Prada with the I'm going to rise through the ranks of the fashion industry with this mother figure, who in this case is literally the mother. And again, this Hunger Games flair, like I'm a badass, you know, against the establishment, like Katniss Everdeen.
I want the sequel to carry the same spirit of the original movie. It's going to be lighthearted, have jazz music intertwined throughout the plot, and it's going to be fun. We're going to have the two dogs bring together these two people, and they're going to sing songs. I think my idea is a pretty efficient, compact sound idea. You can get the flashbacks and the future all in one. I really like the jazz elements throughout 101 Dalmatians, and I think the movie ends on such a point where this family moves out to the English countryside, they start the Dalmatian Foundation, and they have the hit song Cruella de Vil. I think it makes sense to just follow that into the future. The family has signed a whole bunch of record labels and made a whole bunch of music deals, like with K9 Crunchies. You see that in the 101 Dalmatians movie.
Next up, we have to talk about the characters, because you can't have a new story or movie without characters. Miles Dearly. Dearly is the last name of Roger in the novels, and I just decided to continue that through, make it easy, create a through line. And Miles Dearly will be a jazz player. He plays the trumpet. I figured give him a similar big nose like his dad, color the hair like his mom or great-grandma or whatever we're talking about right now, and give him the dog, give him the different version of the dog. If his great-granddad had a Dalmatian, then and the Dalmatian, represents the personality, then I would want my character to have a different personality, but still with that Dalmatian all inside, if that makes sense. Miles has a Dalmatian Labrador mix. Then we have the main girl of the story. Her name is Daphne Smithson. Daphne just reminded me of like an English name, D for Dodie Smith. And Smithson, Dodie Smith, wrote the original novel, so Smithson, keep that in there, inject some of the original author in there. She's kind of tall, she's skinny, she's got like pom-poms, I don't know what they're called. And Daphne has a Papillon, which is this little girl, cute dog. But it also could be black and white, kind of matches Cruella de Vil.
Cruella de Vil, I figured by this point she's going to be almost 100 years old, maybe not directly at 100, depending on where she was in 1960. But I figured she'd be the type of person to not necessarily let herself go. She is going to have this RBF, like a mean face, but she's still going to be approachable. She's going to be slender. She is going to have glasses. She's not going to have black and white hair at the beginning. She's going to have white hair. Just going to have white hair.
This story explores themes of legacy, identity, and redemption as Daphne and Miles navigate their shared history and forge a new path with some pets involved. In this sequel to 101 Dalmatians, set in 2024, we follow two main characters. Miles Dearly, a jazz trumpet prodigy and descendant of Roger and Anita, and Daphne Smithson, the great-granddaughter of Cruella de Vil. The story begins. I'd start the movie in Christmas time with Miles Dearly playing trumpet for all of his family. You see this guy performing in front of a huge Christmas party audience. He plays an original jazz song. It's very lively. There's people and Dalmatians, all these beautiful dogs all around. You see that this man comes from a long line of musicians. For his family member made it all start. He made the whole legacy start with the hit song Cruella de Vil. You see all these plaques on the walls for all the other songs, and you see that there are pictures with Roger, with the Canine Crunchies guy. He does a deal with Canine Crunchies. You even see a picture of Anita with Cruella de Vil. And then after he's done playing his new hit song, he wants to play the classic song Cruella de Vil, and people start going crazy. It's this awesome jazz inspired thing, pop funk jazzy thing. And as he's playing the song, you have the dramatic scene change with Daphne Smithson and her family in the poor parts of Manchester. You see Daphne working. She goes into the attic to find something, and she finds this old box filled with a whole bunch of stuff. Pictures of Cruella de Vil with her mom and grandma, and even an actual original Cruella de Vil record. She asks her parents about it, and they tell they never really knew about this name change. The name Cruella de Vil just kind of died out. De Vil, it wasn't the real name. It was just like a stage name. And as the Cruella de Vil fortune went down, the name changed just through marriage. And so this girl is intrigued. She wants to not be poor anymore. She decides to do some research. She figures out that the record is worth some money and that she might have figured out where Cruella de Vil lives. She sells the record and she buys a ticket to go find Cruella de Vil, like a bus ticket, and then she goes to the house and Cruella lives all alone because she's this bitter old lady, but she loves fashion still, but she's not mean. She's just bitter and grouchy and old. Daphne meets Cruella and learns about the past through flashback. This is a big part and a big reason why I think my idea is better, because you get to push the story further and you get flashbacks in an organic way. Whereas the Cruella 2021 movie was all just a flashback sequence, and it's not efficient storytelling. And at first, Cruella doesn't believe her, but then she convinces her with the pictures she found in a box. And she says, doesn't it make you mad? You might have made some bad decisions, and that it's your name in the song, and that you could have some money into this. And the older Cruella doesn't really care, but she sees that the little girl cares. So she sort of becomes her teacher benefactor in a way. They plot revenge on the Dearlys in a way. They don't want to kill them or anything. They just want to reclaim some of the money, and they devise a plan. So at first, you think that Daphne would just go try to schedule a meeting with this guy, and she does. She tries to schedule a meeting with this guy, Miles, and he just says the same type of stuff. Maybe he's got this agent, and she's kind of like a grouchy agent. She just doesn't believe Daphne either. And so, where are the dogs in all of this? The dogs come in now. When Miles and Daphne meet, their dogs also meet. Nah, this doesn't seem right to me. The dogs are like, I don't know, this seems pretty right to me. These two seem good together. So a part of the movie is that you got the dogs with their own personalities, singing their own songs, trying to get these two people together and trying to make this deal work. As Daphne learns more about Cruella and they try to devise their own plan to get Miles' attention, Daphne learns about Cruella's mistakes and decides she doesn't want to be the angry, sane person Cruella was, and instead of using fashion to hurt or deceive, they are going to use fashion as a way to get Miles to notice her. Why? He says he wants to help, but he needs more proof. This becomes a main part of the story. We see Daphne and Cruella work for a month straight on different fashion pieces. The newspapers are roaring and wondering if Cruella de Vil is actually back after all of these years with a new style sense. And after a month of building suspense, Daphne reveals the beautiful dresses in front of everyone, in front of Miles. And guess what? She even starts singing and reveals she's not only a beautiful young lady with a great sense of fashion, but she also has an excellent singing talent. And she gains the attention of not only Miles, but the entire audience. You see that Daphne Smithson is able to wow everyone. And you even get an appearance from Cruella de Vil, who hasn't been seen in public in multiple decades. This movie pretty much ends with a happily ever after. You see that all the characters pretty much get what they want. The two kids end up together. They both get to sing and show off their fashion and musical talents. The dogs end up together. And I even think we could do a thing where the agent lady isn't really evil. She just sees that her way is not the only way to do something, and you could even give her the happily ever after, where maybe she ends up with someone on Cruella de Vil's side of the family type of thing. At the beginning I mentioned that there would be children, dogs, and songs, and that is all true. We would have a song at the beginning. We would have the original song at the beginning, the jazz song. We would have the Cruella de Vil new rendition jazz song. We would have a song when Cruella de Vil meets her granddaughter or great-granddaughter. We will have a songs when the dogs meet and are kind of showing each other their ways of life. And if you stuck to the end of the video, thank you. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It really helps out. I would love to do more content like this in the future if people will watch it. I mean, I have ideas all the time. I might as well share them.